Spouses who married the cool girl slash boy from your high school. What are they like now? My mom was the elite Atlanta debutante and lived a very cushy life at a budding Miami country club. Beautiful and very popular at the private school. My dad grew up on a farm in Virginia. They weren't poor, but they were definitely not refined. Eventually my father's family made it down to Miami after selling the farm. He became the lifeguard at the country club pool where my mom spent days lounging about. My parents say they saw each other and that was it. The scandal was great. The debutante and the lowly lifeguard. They just celebrated 54 years of marriage. My lowly lifeguard father made quite the life for my mom regardless of what all those elite twats said was going to happen. She gladly left the country club life for him and they are still so utterly in love it's crazy. He carries a photo of her at the pool where they met. The only references she makes to being that girl are that they proved everyone wrong. They are beautiful and I love their story. Not me but my mom married my dad who was hot shit. They met in college when he was an absolute hellion. But since then he became a doctor. Still a really fun dude. He's also a licensed contractor so when he was bored he built a 6,000 square foot barn in our backyard over 10 years completely on his own. Absolutely stand up dude. I married the cool, outgoing, outdoorsy, sporty high school jock. Turns out he's secretly as geeky and introverted as I am. He's still the same person 25 years later. I married the cool girl. Super athletic. Everyone was her friend. We started dating in high school. She's kept up everything people loved about her. Nowadays she isn't as interested in other people and focuses on herself, her career, us and our future. We are planning to buy a house and have kids soon. I'm the breadwinner today, but I'm not so sure if that'll be true in a few years lol. As it turned out, I married one of the mean girls. Didn't go to her school. Didn't find out she was considered that till after the divorce. That's how it turned out. Then I dated one of the cool chicks. Did go to her school. Did know she was considered that. And she was the most amazing human being I've ever known. That one didn't work out either. Now I'm just retired from relationships for a bit. Strike 3 would kill me right now thanks all. This was very therapeutic. I have friends and family that are awesome. Hopefully I'll have more someday. For now it's me and my kids I'm focusing on. I'm the opposite of this question. I totally peaked in high school. Was cheerleading captain, valedictorian, prom queen, super involved and outgoing. Now I'm fat and very unnoticeable. Not pretty and maybe not ugly just bland. And incredibly shy and reserved. Don't really have many/any friends. But married my high school sweetheart. Who was quiet and mostly flew under the radar and now he is outgoing, successful, and more handsome by the year. I'm an introvert and he's an extrovert. I never knew what to say to him in high school because he was so cool and funny. He intimidated me. Now our differences complement each other I think, and we are very happy. My husband was the prom king and star athlete. I was a super awkward marching band nerd with severe scoliosis and a heart condition. He's always been sweet, silly, smart and kind. Still can't believe we are married. Edit. I whipped up a proof collage. https://imga.com/gallery/osbo0edit2. I'll add that we didn't go to the same high school, but we met in college. My confidence had drastically improved by then. I was still a dork though, and he was a college baseball player. Pitcher. Honestly, we are both dorks. My high school friend was a cool guy. Everyone liked him. Guys and girls. He never got into fights. Was always instantly invited everywhere and girls totally swooned over him. He's still the same awesome dude. Hasn't changed a bit. He married an incredibly hot nurse. My sister married the prom king/starting running back from her high school. He got fat, but also is a nice dude who makes a killing running some kind of raw materials company. Doesn't talk about the past at all. My mom was the cool girl all through high school, undergrad, grad school, but life didn't go that well. For most of her life, she had to be caring for someone in the family who was ill, and that took a huge toll on her. First it was her dad, Then it was me. I had childhood illnesses. Then her in-laws in quick succession. Then her dad again. And finally she had to nurse my dad until he passed away from a terminal illness. She was meant to be social and have fun. And instead she was forced to be around sickness and sadness for her best years. But she is a very happy and mentally strong person in general who made the best of things. She hosted a lot of people and events. My house growing up was full of people visiting and having fun. She's very charming and easy to talk to and has a lot of fans all the time. Though, my siblings and I find her social side rather annoying. She isn't like that with us. And she tells us her charming side is just an act. And the real her is the lady who is constantly critical of us for our own good. She likes having groupies hanging around. People who are happy to take her help and be grateful to her. She has very few friends who could be considered her equals. She also expects a lot from other people and is constantly disappointed. She wants to be the center of everything. She doesn't know to be a guest at anything. She somehow ends up running every event she's invited to. She sincerely believes she's helping. But it's just disrespectful sometimes. And when we tell her that, she doesn't get it. She likes to dominate everything and make decisions for everyone. We joke that if the Prime Minister was her friend, she'd somehow end up running the country for him. My mum was the nerdy girl who got all the A's and had zero social skills and somehow managed to start dating my dad, who was the popular, good-looking guy who everyone thought would peak in high school. She was actually advised by her family and friends that he wouldn't give her the future she was hoping for. They got married at 19, had me when they were 20, and while they were pretty broke the first few years of my life, he paid for my mum to attend law school, started his own business, and 25 years later with 3 kids, they're still so in love and have a pretty cushy life. My dad actually met one of the loud voices who told my mum she was making a big mistake marrying him, and she had said how she always knew he would turn out well, which he found hilarious. My dad was crazy popular, prom king, salutatorian, running back, serious ladies man. He met my mom in a nursing class in college, which he took to meet girls, lecture course, and he was the only guy in a sea of women. This was the 70s. They married. He became a car salesman, developed a terrible drug habit, and died of a heart attack at 52. Edit. The car salesman thing was in the 80s, so it was like American Psycho without all of the murder, but with all of the cocaine. All of it. I'm surprised there is any left. Edit 2. Thank you all for the kind words and interesting replies. Also, my first awards on Reddit would be from a random insomniac post. I was only around for the back half, but I can tell you my father was magnetic. Even in his later crispy drug-addled years, he was still drawing people into his orbit with his awesome personality. Just flew too close to the sun, and then after years of therapy I could post about it at 3 AM on Reddit. Lol. Found out recently, 30 meters, that my dad was extremely popular in high school from my aunt. I had no idea he was an all-star football player with lots of college offers, and was prom and homecoming king. Never talks about it, but he's doing well. 2 kids, a dog, and a loving wife. He's still winning. My wife was a hot girl that everyone gossiped about. She's still super hot, but is such a wonderful, supportive, loving person. It makes me sad no one took the time to get to really know her when she was young. I told my wife there is a question on r/askreddit she can actually respond to. I think I broke her because she hasn't stopped laughing. I married one of our high school sweethearts. We started dating there in the late 70s. A girl everyone loved. Long straight hair down to her rear end. Smiled all the time. Always in the beauty contestant shows, and always generous and friendly. Fast forward to now, and she is still good looking, and does not look her age of 60. Great mother and grandmother, and still as good a person now as she was when I met her in 77. My brother married the popular girl. She was homecoming queen, prom queen, on varsity teams, in band, an honor roll student, beautiful, and super nice. 17-ish years and 2 kids later, she is still a sweetheart, beautiful, and athletic. My brother was one of the hottest guys in high school and went on to be a model. He's still cool and hot to many, but now he's a bit fat. He's my brother, so he won the hot part in my opinion. but women still swoon, and he's so obnoxious. Think Matt Dillon, etc. Era. He got dumped by his model 17 years younger wife for a 26-year-old. He has impossible standards, and it's making him miserable. He's into these flashy shallow women. Overall he's doing really well, and his business is thriving. Mom was a cool girl. Still is. Still literally gets stopped by strangers talking about how cool / pretty / whatever she looks / acts. But divorced, husband cheated, and widowed, second husband died. So never really managed to get a happily ever after in romance. I've only seen her as a grown up of course. But going by pictures plus what I remember as a kid, she hasn't changed all that much. I think sometimes she's too used to people being in her orbit and will get sad if something happens where she's not involved. Not overtly so, but you can see she's expecting everyone to always want her there. My best friend was prom king 14 years ago. Now he owns a successful small business. Never had a girlfriend. Never had a boyfriend. Not sure about his sexuality, but he's a kick-ass dude. Proud he calls me a friend as I'm an awkward introvert. Edit. Thanks for the award you / camel_cum. I've only met one camel in my life and we didn't hit it off. She's still the nicest and gorgeous girl I ever met. Nothing change. She is studying to be a pharmacist. That's something no one would guess. Since she always loved history and her school didn't had biology or chemistry. Edit. We weren't from the same school, but she was one of the most popular girls from the school. Neighborhood and university class. I met her on a graduation we both gave up. I always think about this guy in my HS. He was super popular and the best friend of the worst bully I ever had. I won't say his name, but he went on to be a pro football player and I always idolized him because of his actions on one single day. He pulled me aside and told me that he noticed I almost never ate lunch. He gave me $20 and told me to make sure I ate well and that he was sorry he was so mean to me. For anyone who has ever hesitated on apologizing, I will never forget that person and I will never think he didn't deserve his popularity. I was picked on, but better. Reading these answers about prom kings, head cheerleaders, quarterbacks etc just has me as a Canadian going wow. American high school really is like on TV. The high school experience just really isn't the same here. At least not in my experience. I don't even think our ideas of popular were really the same. Mainly due to how much less important sports are here. I think without football reigning supreme it allows for way more variation for what makes someone popular. I married the football / baseball star. Voted best looking. His brother died while they were in high school shortly after he broke his collarbone and ruined any chances of college sports. He was good at masking his feelings for years. He's now in rehab for alcohol and about 100 pounds heavier. Always fascinates me how being good at sport makes you popular in American TV shows. Never realized it was actually true. In the UK you might be unbelievably good at something, but you'll still get called a knobhead and your best mates will still tell you you're shite, just to keep you grounded lol. He was the one who had the six-pack who all the girls swooned over. Very popular. I was not. Saw him after just leaving HS, and started going out. Ended up getting married in our early 20s. God knows why. I guess we thought it was just what happened next. He never grew up. All he wanted to do was play online games. But I mean constantly. He would get in from work, walk straight past me to the spare room, straight online and play until the early hours, get a bit of sleep, go back to work, same thing, again and again. Never wanted to go anywhere, just wanted to game. Eventually, I gave him an ultimatum. He chose the game. From what I gather, he's remarried to someone else we went to school with and has 2 kids now. I was told she had to give him an awful lot of ultimatums before he eventually grew up. My dad was super popular, prom king, valedictorian, class president, football captain etc. He has a high ranking, but normal roller a smallish to medium-sized company. Pretty normal guy and a good dad. If brought up he will mention his high school years, but he doesn't brag.